Hello all, welcome to BAW Tech Nuggets. Today's topic is filtering select or select to. In BAW client side human services, you can use single select that comes with the product. But what we are looking for is filtering select. So if we see in the Dojo toolkit, we have a control called filtering select. So this acts like normal select with extra feature. So where I can type the state and it filters based on my input. We don't have this kind of control in the BAW. So let's see how we can build that. So here is the single select. So in the single select, I added the items from the service. It's if you see the service, it's just a list of the states. So if I run it, so you can see it's just normal single select. It doesn't have filtering select feature. So now we need to turn this single select into a filtering select. First we will see in a dojo way, and then we will see how we can do that simply with the select to plugin. It's a jQuery plugin. Select to is a jQuery plugin. So we will see later how to convert this single select into a select to or filtering select. So I will show the dojo way of turning this single select into a filtering select with just a console. I will not be showing the entire code because my ultimate goal is to show you a select to plugin rather than dojo. So to turn into dojo filtering select, what I did is I created another coach view test CV. It has nothing in it. I just added digit form filtering select because I want this plugin to be loaded on the browser so that I can play around. I can turn the single select into a filtering select widget. So let me save this and run it. So it's just still normal single select because we haven't done any operations on it. So for this I need to find out the ID of the single select. You can see the ID is single select underscore single select. So let me copy this and select via self dojo.query. Since I'm querying with the ID, oops, double quotes, paste it. It will return a list. Let's see what's in the list. So you can see it returned the list. So obviously we need to select the first item, this one. So we need to select this widget. As you can see, as I'm selecting this one, so it's highlighting on the um, browser. So now we need to turn this into a digit filtering widget. So for that, what I will do is I already have the code, right? So you don't need ready because it's already loaded. So what I'm doing is I'm attaching, the filtering select type, data dojo type to the to this node, single select node, and then I am parsing it. So if I click enter, so you can see it's changed. Now what we did is we turned the normal single select into a digit filtering widget. So you can see I can type Alabama or I can type Delaware. So in reality, you'll be writing this code in your custom coach view. Generally you create a wrapper CV around this single select and then get hold of the single select and then do the turn the single select here your filtering select widget. Okay, this is one way of doing it. So if you're using this, if you're planning to use this, just on the page, it should be fine. But I found some issues when using this in the models or dialog box. So select to plugin is the open source plugin. You can simply download it from the this website select2.org. You need to download the JS file and then CSS file. So we will come to this later. Okay, you can go to this website and then play around it. So here they have these examples. So you can see they have even a multi-select box, but what we are looking for here is single select box. So this is the regular select, but once we apply your select to function on the regular single select, this will turn like this. So now what I need to do is I need to create a wrapper for this single select. So for the easy way to do is you just clone the existing single select from the UI toolkit to your project or your toolkit. So copy item 2. So I'm selecting Harish Playground. So this is my current project. So you must see, so this is the cloned one. So what I do is I will just rename it. So single filtering select. So once you do that, so why I copied, because I just want all these configuration options, everything same as single select, because what we will be doing is we will be adding the regular single select, out of the box single select, to this one, right? And then we will map this, so binding to this one, and the configuration options, for example tab index, I will map to the tab index. So similarly I will map all of these, so placeholder to the placeholder. And I am removing all these files from our filtering select. So I don't need this code. So everything is clean. So if we see in the items, I configured no items from the service. Similarly, so I will configure the size and everything. Size. I configured all this. Now let's go to the events. So I added the events. Now let's go to visibility. So visibility is the general configuration options. Similarly for the label help. So we are done with the filtering select CV. So let's add that filtering select. So let me rename this. This is the out of the box single select OTP, and this is the custom filtering select. So I can see it has all the configuration options, you see, because we just cloned the single select, CV, and then we mapped from the our custom CV variables to the out of the box vanilla CV. That way we can pass the variables from the custom filtering select. So let's see if it is working. It should right now it should work as exactly as the out of the box single select. Let me from the service. So let's test selects, test states, and then run it. Out of the box is working fine. Okay, so our filtering select is showing value instead of the name. Uh, so what you need to do is, in the item selection service, so type value, because if you see the out of the box single select, we give the display property as the name and value property as the value. So we need to do the similar way. Value, name, and value and name. Let's run again. So this is showing value. So see, so now we created a wrapper around the single select after the busing select, right? And we need to turn this as a select to, okay, which is filtering select. Okay, so now we are in select 2, so we need to get these two files. So let me go to that. So this is the CSS. So let's control C. Okay, save. So now let's go get the min.js file. Control S. So seems. So now add those two files as the web files. Select to.min.js file. So let me add the CSS file to whatever we downloaded. So access. So this is the CSS file. Actually, we need to get the jQuery too. So let me get the jQuery, compressed version. Minified version should be good for us. So let me save this one too, and then add it to our project. So let's add all these three to our custom CV. So go to behavior, to scripts. So check very fast, and then select to add the CSS. Okay, and then this file. So we need to add these three at the script tag HTML because these are not AMDs. So let me change the control ID name of our out of the box select in the filtering select to inner select. So in the load, first we will get that inner select in the over TB select variable. So I added Dojo aspect module in the AMD modules. Please see my previous videos to know more about this aspect. The goal here is to create filtering select with minimal code. At the same time, whatever I am writing, the functions should not interfere with the out of the box control code, which is our single select. And I don't want to lose CSS or any other feature that comes with the out of the box single select. So the control on the UI should act like filtering select just for that brief moment, when the user is interacting with it. At all other times, it should act like the out of the box single select in the look wise, in the features wise, or in any aspect. So as you can see, I am invoking this you know function after the user clicks on that single select. So let me run this. So when I'm clicking one time, it's nothing is happening, but if I'm clicking second time, you can see it created a filtering select. But we can see there is some CSS overlap between the select to CSS and out of the box CSS. So this is what I'm talking about. So once the user selects something, the look should look like the out of the box single select. So one way to do is to destroy that single select once the user is done with selecting or changing the value in the control. So for that, I created two more functions in the on change event and when that drop down close. So you can see this on change event is from the out of the box single select event. So if you see this single select, right, and then if you go and observe the this file control ppmxt control select.js, you can see those functions on change, on focus and everything. So when that on change happen, that means when the value is changed, what I want to do is I want to simply destroy the select to feature of that filtering select. So that means we are turning our filtering select back to the single select, out of the box single select. So similarly, when the drop down closes, when you expand the drop down, right, when the drop down closes also, I want to destroy. So before destroying, I'm checking, whether that uh, select control has the select to feature on it. Okay, so if it is the select to class, then we are destroying it. So let me see this in action. So it looks like out of the box. Double clicking it and then changing the value Arizona. So it turned back to the normal single select. Similarly, let me change this with the typing. So after selecting, it turned back to the out of the box single select. Now let's see how this works in the model. We want the initial visibility to be hidden or none. So let me run it. So when I open the model, you see nothing is showing. The reason being, if we see the custom filtering select, right? So the visibility is passed from our custom filtering select wrapper to the out of the box control. But the thing is, when the model opens up, the visibility of this parent is changed, but the change is not propagated down to our single out of the box single select control. So the change, you know, will be propagated to the custom CV, but from here we need to notify that change to our single select control. Let's see how to do that. So as I said, the change is propagated in our filtering select, custom filtering select. So we're writing this function. Now I applied it wanted the visibility, but you need to apply to everything, because you may anything may change during the runtime. For example, label, user may want to change the label, he may want to change the help text, or anything for that matter, or configuration, right, size, width, or anything. So in this example I'm only showing the visibility part. So what I did is just I went to the out of the box select custom JS file, and then see how they have written the configuration changes. So I just copied um, that and then apply to this control. So let's see if it works now. Open model. See, now the visibility you know value is propagated down to our out of the box sorry out of the box select from the custom CV. So double click it. So there is another issue here. So I can select it, but thing is I'm not able to type it. Okay, I'm not able to type in this combo box. So let's see how we can overcome that. Okay, so I was able to find the answer quickly. So what you need to do is you need to pass the drop down parent you know to the select to control. So in our case it would be model. So you can see it here. So let's apply this. So for that I'm adding one variable called drop down parent. So my goal is it has to work both on the UI, on the page, as well as on the model. So if the user or the developer wants to use it on the model, they need to pass the control ID of the model. So I need to change this function based on the configuration option. So what it is if the user did not pass that model ID, then it would act as as if it is on the page. Otherwise, it would pass the adapted parent as the model ID. So let's see this. So here our model section, this is the control, and I need to pass that the configuration options. Obviously, you can make, you know, much more better. User doesn't need to pass this hash symbol. You can include that in your code. Okay, but for now it works. So let's test this. Open model. So now I'm able to type as well as select. Let's see, whether it's still working on the page. So what I will do, I will simply copy this onto the page, and on the page I don't need to pass the model, sorry, drop down parent ID, because it's on the page. Let me run it. So on the page it's working fine. Let's see on the model again. Yep, so it's working in the both places. So this is how you can turn normal single select into a filtering select. I'm sure you can make this control more sophisticated by adding, more CSS, and don't forget to, add the code to propagate your, the configuration option changes from the wrapper down to your, out of the box control. So that's all in for today's session, guys. Thank you very much.